Hey everyone, welcome back to Cobalt Mood. Today, well, it is almost 9. I saved this call for the end of the day to try and come up with something to talk about. Sometimes I think of words, like abstract words, to describe how I'm feeling. I feel like it's very good for the abstract thinkers out there. They might get it, but it's going to be very weird coming out. I feel like a slug. I feel like as buoyant, as squishy and fat and slobbery as a slug is how my day felt. My day felt like a slug. Maybe slugs are cute in some universes, but in this one it makes it pretty difficult to move through life. I was thinking of honestly breaking the streak because I'm like, I only have a lot. This could be a 5-minute video. I could just not record it all and just be like, I broke it because I have no spoons. But I figured, let me just speak my truth. The reality of having a very low energy day. And when I have these days, I think about maybe I just need a hobby. I did end up wrapping up early, but I also wrapped up early because I cut out a few tasks. Like I didn't go sourcing. I didn't pack my items. I didn't go to the post office. So, cut off some big chunks of time. And then when I finished early, I just sat on the couch like slugs do. And I think I watched some episodes of The Voice before eventually being like, this is not helping. Let me go to sleep. And here we are, 2 hours later. Yeah, I was looking at my apps and I was like, oh, maybe it's something hormonal is coming because I usually get sluggish and then, she arrives. But nope, not gonna happen. Maybe I'm getting sick. Nope, that's not happening either. Knock on wood, I actually don't want to be sick. But when I talk about my dilemma of being like, I don't really want to do anything on these slow days, I feel like I should be doing something. Okay, you can't do your work, so maybe you go hang out with friends, or you go slug somewhere else, or you go do something social, which sounds absolutely awful. So anyways, I was talking about this in therapy, just how I feel like I should be doing something else with my life, how my body is just shutting me down, therefore it's shutting my mind down, and it's just very hard to not give in, I guess. And my therapist is like bless her, I've seen her for 5 years, so she knows all my crap. She reminds me about the horrors I've been through in the last few years. So the first year, I had a death in the family. I had a cancer diagnosis in the family. These are my immediate people. They were a few months apart. And that was just a year filled with grief. Had some tiffs happen in the family as well between me and people I was dating. The next year, my partner had a few deaths in her family. So another year of grief. I feel like grief is shows up in a really interesting way when it's not directly happening to you, but it's so close to you in your world. Obviously my life was affected. Supporting my partner going through what I had just been through and was still going through. And then the third year was the dissolving of that partnership with my ex. I think we had just been through the ringer too early in our relationship. Oh, also within those 2 years, I also got in a car accident with my ex, and 2 other people were driving. We were in the back seat. And that took us out for 6 months. We were in like all sorts of therapy. At one time, I was going to see a chiropractor, massage therapist, physical therapist, a naturopath. Oh, and an acupuncturist. Like multiple times a week for like months. And I would drive there with a concussion, and I had like a knee injury, a tailbone injury. I was off work for a large portion of time, so that added stress. And that was early into my relationship with this last person I dated. So this cluster of events in short succession in the time frame that they were happening back to back was just too much stress for that relationship, and it eventually failed. So that was like 2 years. And then the third year was the start of that relationship ending, followed by me finding out that people close to me in my super inner friend circle were not actually a good fit for me, and where I was wanting to go in the future. There was just a lot of betrayal, lying, and just a lot of things I couldn't look past, and it wouldn't be healthy for me to stay and try and repair those relationships because they were based off of things that came up with the other person and how they showed up in the friendship, and not how I showed up in the friendship. And I was also probably chronically exhausted at this point in my life, and that was last year. So yeah, I'm now 4 months in from, not only have I built a business of reselling, I built a dog sitting business as well, doing that at the same time because reselling isn't pulling in enough for me to just do it full time. Have whatever residual grief is left from the chaos of the past 2 years. I think I said in one video that it felt like I had hit Earth, like the bottom level, and I was just sucked down to like the granite portion. The amount of trauma was so vast and like unbelievable. It's really actually quite surprising to say out loud and repeat out loud. And just like how we survived that. Like, it was hard. Anyway, so having said all that, when I now talk about how I'm struggling in my day-to-day and go through these cycles and not wanting to do anything and feeling exhausted all the time and feeling like I should be doing something productive with my day, with like my physical body not wanting to do that task whatsoever. Yeah, my therapist says that I am in what she's calling deep rest. And what my body actually needs is deep rest. And that just messes with my anxiety mind, who has developed this entrepreneurship lens, is executing on that. 2 businesses. I've said no as well to my career as a graphic designer. And I am now actively rebuilding and have put myself in a position where I am rebuilding from a place of financial unknown. Like, I walked away from a healthy, disposable income to a questionable, living as a waitress, mashing it together. But I do have a lot less stress, but I also am chronically exhausted still. Life. I laugh so I don't cry. Well, now you know my story, or more of my story. So yeah, I guess the lesson here is, by repeating this all, I can see, yeah, bro, you're tired. Like, I get it. I can get how your mind might be wanting to lie to yourself and carry that one brain cell through the whole day. And since you don't listen to your body shuts you down. I don't know. Maybe some of you have been through this and you know what's happening, and I don't. I don't know what's happening. Let's just hope tomorrow the universe gives me an extra brain cell to work with. Alright, that's it. That's the reality. It's all the care I have. And one day, maybe I will align my body to my mind, and life will just be a lot easier. Bye.